Are we live?
Yes, the mic works. So Nice. I feel like I have to write something. That's Don't sing the music like that again, bro. This looks sick. Oh dear. Oh, I was going to give a take on this, bro. Interesting. I mean, I might as well just react to this quickly, bro.
Christian footballer Mark Gahey responded to being asked to wear an LGBT armband by writing the words "I love Jesus" on it. He was formally reprimanded by the FA because of a ban on any political, religious or personal slogans, statements or images on players' equipment. Wait a minute, you're telling me LGBT isn't a political message? When its most prominent backers are supremely political activist groups like Stonewall. Of course it's political, it couldn't be more political. The same organisation telling you there's a blanket ban on political statements in top-level football plastered Black Lives Matter all over the shirts of players on billboards and flags for months after the George Floyd BLM riots.
First of all, I don't think Black Lives Matter is a political statement. Like, I don't know, is there another word to describe something that is like extremely important? That should be extremely important to the common man, in a sense that it's not about working for an individual's common interest, it's for working for society's common interest. It's not political, it's important in a way that isn't political. I don't know if there's a word. Let's see, let's search for something. Or to describe something that's important, like it's essential to society in a way that isn't typical. It's paramount. That's diplomatic. I don't know. It's not political. It's just like simply believing like everybody's equal. I guess like.
Can't endorse and aggressively promote one of the most militantly political groups in modern history and then claim all political messaging is verboten. There's no ban on political slogans or statements in the Premier League, only on the ones not endorsed by the establishment. Gahey and his club Crystal Palace avoided a formal charge for his thought crime, but it was made abundantly clear that such vile behaviour, writing "I love Jesus" on an armband, wouldn't be tolerated again. So Gahey, to his credit, doubled down and did it again. In the next match he wrote the words "Jesus loves you" on the armband. Oh dear, now they're gonna have to come crashing down. Interesting how Gahey received more heat despite wearing the armband than Sam Morsi, who refused to wear the armband altogether. Morsi, a practicing Muslim, refused to wear the armband because of his religious beliefs and faced no reprimand or punishment whatsoever. Gahey's father, who is a church minister, hit the nail on the head. This country is a Christian country, and we are reminded of that when we go into public buildings that have the royal coat of arms, which has the words "Dieu est mon droit, God am my right. I back my son for what he did." I'm a church minister and a devout Christian, and so is Mark. He didn't refused to wear the rainbow armband, so where's the problem? Morsi refused to wear the armband, but my son didn't. He wore it. The Rainbow Laces LGBT campaign is supposedly all about inclusion, unless you refuse to amplify their very political message, in which case they suddenly lose all their appetite for inclusivity and will isolate and ostracize anyone who refuses to bend the knee for that message. If you value what I do and you want to help support me, please visit pauljosephwatson.locals.com and either pledge a one-time donation or subscribe to join my community, get early access videos and message me directly. And exclusive live streams coming soon too, promise. Check out the Locals link down in the description. And don't
Ipswich Town have said that their captain, Sam Morsi, refused to wear a rainbow captain's armband at the weekend, quotes, due to his religious beliefs. Morsi is a practicing Muslim, and he led Ipswich at the weekend amidst the yearly Rainbow Laces campaign. The question here is, should players be allowed to pick and choose the campaigns and messages that football chooses to involve itself in? Now, as well as that, we've learnt in the last hour that England defender Mark Gahey will escape any FA punishment for writing "I love Jesus" on his rainbow-coloured captain's armband. The FA are expected to contact Gahey to remind the Palace centre-back that religious messaging is banned. As I said, Alex joins us live. Alex, on this Gahey situation, what more do we know?
Yeah, good afternoon, guys. As you say, first and foremost, good news for Crystal Palace in their predicament down at the bottom of the table, and for Mark Gahey, that he hasn't been charged. He's not going to be charged by the FA, and therefore there won't be any kind of punishment or suspension coming his way. It comes after the game against Newcastle at the weekend, when Gahey unfortunately scored an own goal against the club that tried so hard to sign him in the summer. He wore that rainbow coloured armband, as 19 of the 20 Premier League captains did, and he wrote on it, "I love Jesus." Now that is a contravention of FA laws of the game, which state political, religious or personal slogans, statements or images are prohibited. So he was treading a fine line there, but as you say, my understanding is that the FA, rather than imposing any formal punishment, are almost going to reprimand Gahey. They're going to contact Palace, they're going to contact the player and remind him that such religious statements are banned. But it's an interesting one, isn't it? Particularly when I know you guys are about to debate what happened with Sam Morsi at Ipswich refusing to wear that armband.
Yeah, I mean, Simon, if Gahey was prompted to send out a message of his own, as we heard, "I love Jesus" on that rainbow armband, you could argue that that was prompted by some religious motivation on his part. Would he not have been better just abandoning wearing the armband itself?
Probably.
I mean, one wonders where all this goes. Where do you stand on Morsi? First things first. If he feels, "I'm not going to do it, I refuse to wear a rainbow captain's armband due to my religious beliefs," is he quite right to do just that? And are Ipswich right to back him?
Probably yes. I mean, if football insists upon involving itself in relative causes in a society that treats everybody with equality, it seems the need to continue to promote certain messages through it, and you're going to get certain challenges, and you're going to get certain people that don't agree with it. And so if you don't agree with something, should you be forced to have to adhere to it? I'm always for integration. I'm always for central values, and people that come to this country to understand the central principles of this country. One of the big arguments that I make is that central principles are a very important part of the reasons why there's so many challenges in this country, because we don't have them. But I'm also not entirely sure why we need to have these kind of messages inside football. I don't know why we need to have rainbow laces or rainbow flags. I'm sure I can be told by those that want to have these sort of things inside football stadiums. I'm sure it's very important to take a rainbow flag and wave it at a football match. I think under the law and in society, people's sexualities are protected characteristics. I don't know why it's a fascination with making it prevalent, but it seems to be. And I don't know why we have to have Pride Days, because 40 years ago it was something that people weren't able to have. We've now moved on as a society, and people get a bit fed up with the messaging and having pushed down your throat. But in these instances, I think Mark Gahey and the fellow Ipswich are entitled not to be forced into a situation that they don't concur with. Now, whether you agree with whether they should concur with it or not is a different discussion. And football finds itself regularly in this space. It finds itself in the space with James McClean, because for some reason or another football thinks it's appropriate and needs to. We have a Remembrance Sunday. We know when Remembrance Day should be celebrated. It's 11th hour, the 11th day of the 11th month. Yet football, being football, feels that it needs to do something special for it. And I understand that there's something special about that, but it also creates its own debates. Football gets involved with lighting up stadiums and lighting upon things that it can't actually substantiate because its main protagonists don't really want to follow through on their views. We have Jordan Henderson telling everybody how his viewpoint about particular persuasions should be supported and off he rocks to a country that doesn't have that. So I do feel that football should perhaps stay out of these arguments, stay out of these debates, but it doesn't want to. And so that means that the people inside it have to be forced into something they either believe in or not, and take a stance. And I don't think he needs to write what he wrote on the armband.
Yeah.
I think he should have just said, I don't want to wear it.
See, Marcy's in a difficult situation to a degree here, Alex, because I noticed he came in for a bit of flack over the weekend after refusing to wear a Rainbow Captain's armband at the weekend due to his religious beliefs. It was very much and very speedily brought to everybody's attention by many people on social media that when he was at Borough and when he was at Wigan, he would wear a shirt with a gambling sponsor's logo on it. So,
what's that got to do with a price of cheese?
Yeah, but
what's that got to do with his religious beliefs are one thing. His attitude towards a gambling company.
But both are prohibited in his religion.
Is gambling prohibited?
Yeah,
is it?
That's the whole point.
Okay.
So there was a finger pointing towards Morsi of you are a downright hypocrite when it comes to that. You'll wear the shirt with the gambling logo on it, but you won't wear an armband with the rainbow logo on it. So
double standards.
To some extent, Morsi was in a difficult situation with this. And at the end of the day, Alex, the guy would probably argue, I'm here to play football. End of.
Yeah, I can understand that argument. And actually, if you go back to the World Cup in Qatar, we were there this time 2 years ago, and there was a big furore, wasn't there, before the tournament about captains of certain countries wearing rainbow-coloured armbands, and then FIFA threatened to start dishing out yellow cards, and very quickly those captains backed down, and different armbands were worn. So I understand where Simon is coming from in terms of football. Sometimes is being used to promote messages that maybe footballers don't feel comfortable doing so. But I think you're right to point out the double standards there when it comes to wearing a gambling advert on the front of your shirt and then not a rainbow-coloured armband. We're still waiting to hear from the FA with regard to Sam Morsy whether he will face any punishment. But I guess it might be a similar situation to Mark Gahey if they're deciding that Mark Gahey is making a religious gesture and sending out a religious message, and Morsy is doing the same. Then you can't reprimand one player without reprimanding the other. But equally, it'd be difficult to see a scenario where Morsy gets some kind of charge and punishment when Gahey has escaped that.
What do you do, Simon, if Morsy was one of your players and you had a gambling logo on your shirt?
Well, I don't know why he elected to put himself in a position where something that he fundamentally disagreed with, he decided to endorse. Maybe he wasn't as confident a character as he is now. Maybe he's an older and more substantial person in his beliefs and has decided now was the time. And maybe if you asked him to wear a gambling shirt now, he may be declining it.
Maybe.
So we don't know what about it is not necessarily the answer.
You see, Adam, one of the listeners, Simon, saying he doesn't really have a choice. Adam is saying he doesn't have a choice about what shirt he wears because the rest of the team wear it.
Yep.
But he does have a choice not to wear the armband.
And that's right. And if you fundamentally disagree with something, why should you have to do it? I mean, there were people that fundamentally disagreed with the necessity to take the knee, but they were too cowardly to say it. And there were people inside the media that spent their entire time telling everyone they should take the knee, and if you didn't, you were institutionally racist, and that ultimately the BLM was a good movement, and then all of a sudden those people have disappeared into the background. There's something to be admired about something. You might not agree with someone's point of view, but if he doesn't agree with the principles of what someone's asking him to do, why should he have to do it? And why should sport have to do some of these things? And I maintain the view that sport, I know it's an outmoded view in some people's points of view, and I know that football is such an influencer that it can't help itself. But the question is, what is the purpose of sport? It's for entertainment. It's not for carrying societal causes. It doesn't have to be the best version of society. It just has to be entertainment. People that want it to be something else are because they want to hitch their particular wagon to it and utilise it for their own particular messaging. And they'll make the case as to the reasons why it's valuable. And then the same people will argue for the fact that a biological male can rock on a football pitch and play with 17-year-old girls. And that argument will be superseded by something else. So you have to get the balance right. I make these boys right. I admire their courage. I don't think Gahey should have written on his band. He should have just taken it off. Maybe it was an afterthought. Maybe he wasn't paying attention during the course of the week to what he was away, and it was presented to him, and he suddenly decided, I've got to do something about this.
Sure.
So I think sometimes you have to respect people's worldview rather than the one that other people want to force down your throat.
Alex, thank you very much indeed.
Jim White and Simon Jordan. Monday to Friday mornings from 10 on AM, on DAB, via the TalkSport app and on your smart speaker. TalkSport.
What do you have to say here?
Andrea Williams is Chief Executive of Christian Concern. Thank you for coming on the programme, Andrea. Do you agree with Mark Gahey's father that this is an imposition of a belief?
Absolutely, and I think that what Mark Gahey's father said was profound and clear, and I think that many people would be rooting for Mark Gahey, just actually stating his belief, and he put that there on his armband.
Where's the imposition?
Well, the reality is this: the whole push by Stonewall again for laces, for the promotion, in fact, of pride, which is it says in the Football Association that there is a prohibition on political and religious viewpoints and so on. But in fact, this is very much a quasi-religious viewpoint. It's saying this is something that you will believe, this is something that you will promote. And of course, not everyone, whilst everyone believes in absolute respect for one another and human dignity, we cannot all believe in promoting an LGBTQI ideology, which is what the rainbow flag and the rainbow armbands and the rainbow laces are all about. It's very clearly an ideology, and people get punished if they don't promote it.
Okay, I want to get into some of what you mean by this. In this case, there is no imposition in that these players are not forced to do it, are they?
Well, the reality is that what you have is you may have, that may be stated, and we've seen here that it's been clear that some of the Muslim players refused to wear the armband or refused to wear the jacket.
They didn't want to do it. Yeah, they said
they said they didn't want to do it, and that was
they didn't do it.
And they didn't do it. And I think that what we see here at the Christian Legal Centre is we've seen Christian teachers who've refused to participate in Pride events at schools, for instance, during June. We've seen them being disciplined and losing their jobs. We've seen children removed from classrooms if they don't promote or participate in gay pride.
Where have you seen that?
Welcome to Woke Britain, where Islam is at the top of the league and Christianity is in the relegation zone. A Muslim Ipswich player refused to wear the rainbow armband to show support.
What do you mean by Islam is top of the league, bro? Christianity in relegation zone, that's funny.
For the radical LGBTQ plus pressure group Stonewall's campaign. The Premier League, the FA, etc., they won't punish him. Today, it's emerged that Manchester United player Yasser Mazraoui, also a Muslim, refused to wear a rainbow-coloured jacket for the warm-up of their game against Everton. What did the entire Manchester United squad do? They all refused to wear it to show solidarity with him. Well, I'm a Manchester United fan. You know, I'm not trying to dig the squad out unnecessarily here. But the fact is, they picked Islam over the LGBTQ plus community. Well, why? Because the worst thing you can do in British society is offend Islam. But it's a bit odd, because just a couple of years ago, Manchester United's former director of communications was making a big song and dance about how much the club supports LGBTQ.
I think we as a club have a proud history of diversity and inclusion, of promoting that, actively promoting it. We're a club open to all nationalities, all creeds, and of course all sexual identities.
What happens when you have to pick though, mate? Sky Sports News reported the story, but they didn't name the religion, Islam.
What about the rainbow armband controversy? Because that's been going on as well. You've got a development on that, haven't you, today?
Yeah, there have been some developments today regarding Manchester United. Now, it's emerged that Manchester United dropped plans for their players before Sunday's game against Everton to come out on the pitch wearing a special Adidas jacket in support of the LGBTQ plus community.
Okay.
Now, the reason they dropped plans to wear those jackets is because one player said he didn't want to wear the jacket.
Why not? Why not? So, Islam is at the top of the table, isn't it? But I wondered what comes next in Britain's woke league table. Is it Black Lives Matter? Or is it LGBTQ? Well, it's LGBTQ over Black Lives Matter, I'm afraid. How do we know this? Well, we've got a perfect example. Crystal Palace and England defender Mark Gay, a black man, actually wore the rainbow armband twice, but wrote something on it that might offend some members of the LGBTQ community. So we'll take the knee. Yay, Black Lives Matter. Not that black guy, because he doesn't have the correct views about LGBT, does he? No, but the Muslim players, who also don't have the right views, they're fine. But this also revealed what's bottom of the league table in the woke league, and it's Christianity, isn't it? What was it that Mark Gay wrote on that rainbow armband? He wrote, I love Jesus, and then he wrote, Jesus loves you, during the next fixture. The FA clamped down on him. They said there can be no religious statements during games. Well, look, I would politely argue that the Muslim players were making a religious statement by refusing to take part. That was about the religion, wasn't it? They face no action whatsoever. Mark Gay's father, a Christian church minister, is absolutely spot on when he says, Jesus loved everyone, therefore by saying I love Jesus on his armband, I really don't see what is offensive and what the problem is. The country is a Christian country. If you look at what the LGBT community are doing, they are trying to impose on others what they believe in. It's belief against belief. But at the end of the day, everyone has a right to an opinion. Look, this for me isn't really a football story. It's a revelation about our entire society. Do not offend Islam at all costs. You must wear the rainbow stuff, otherwise you're a homophobe. Take the knee unless you're a racist, despite Black Lives Matter publishing a Marxist political manifesto. And if you're Christian, with the traditional Christian beliefs, well, frankly, you should probably just shut up and have a very merry winterval.
Using the internet without a VPN is a bit like taking to the road without car insurance. All it takes in 2023 alone, and you'll get...
needs to get out of all of this altogether. There shouldn't be a hierarchy of religions and political positions. It should avoid controversy at all costs. Football is controversial enough already without taking a particular stance on which religion you agree with or disagree with, or whether you support the Stonewall campaign or not. Now, I know sometimes that gets to people saying, well, is the poppy a religious or a political symbol? I mean, I think it's okay to use symbols which are completely universal, you know, singing the national anthem, having the St George's Cross or the Union flag. But anything that looks like it can be divisive, the best policy for football is total silence. Otherwise, you do this Stonewall jacket and somebody complains about it. So you should get out of the whole lot.
You force it on people. You do force it on people, and then when someone goes, well, I'm sorry, I just don't want to take a part of that, then you try and vilify them for it.
Look, let me just clarify something you said there. The poppy is in remembrance to people that died, so we could be here today, gave their lives for our freedom. Your sexuality means nothing to me. I don't care if you're gay, straight, if you go with women, men, trans people, all three. I don't care. I go to football to watch football. I don't want to see rainbow laces and rainbow armbands. That does nothing for the LGBTQ and a million letters community. If anything, the small amount of homophobes and angry people in this, it makes them worse. Look, I've got 3 kids. The statistical probability is one of my kids could end up being gay. I would support my kids throughout. I would even be even more protective. Very few people in this country attack anyone because of their sexuality. This whole me, look, I'm wearing a rainbow thing. All these, look, I go Tottenham, I'm a season ticket. I have to look across the stands to me, progress flag, the rainbow flag of all the different bits. Now, for me, that's offensive. For me, that indicates or supports
it's a political symbol.
The targeting of children.
Yeah.
I don't want to see it.
Many people would
Now, I
agree
think we need to get this out of football because people just want to see their favourite players play football.
Is this not actually, just to make it a bit more about wider society as well, when you've got the woke brigade, who seem to be, very pro-Palestine, you can't be, everything's Islamophobic, all that stuff, but then you actually look at what that means a lot of the time, and there are vast swathes of the Muslim community who are absolutely dead against the LGBTQ plus community, and now, lo and behold, it's playing out. It just happens to be playing out on a football pitch.
Well, you said it's not about football, but you started with football, so can I just say,
yeah.
I have zero interest in football. I've watched 2 football matches in my life. One was the World Cup final in 1966.
You're not old enough.
Of course I am. And
that's the last time we won.
Exactly. And so I never watched another. And then was it the Euro finals when we came second or something? I watched that. Boring. Okay. Anyway, so I care nothing for football.
Right.
Having said that, I also feel that religion is one of the most divisive factors in society and causes so many problems around the world today, and has done and will continue to do so. So religion should be kept out of sport.
Why is it all right for a Muslim
finish?
player to say that he doesn't want to be part of the LGBTQ lot, but when a Christian player does, he gets vilified?
No, the Christian player did not get vilified. He was not. No, he did not. He was not officially criticised. I read it.
The bloke wasn't criticised at all.
No, never mind. He wasn't criticised. The thing is, the FA. I read up about it today. I said I care nothing. The FA has a strict rule: no religious insignia at all. None whatsoever. And so when he said, I love Jesus, or Jesus loves you, that is signifying, that is actually making a religious statement. Now, that goes against the FA rules. So he's not been criticised, but it was pointed out to him that he was in contravention of the rules.
The problem here is, I think you can take the rainbow armband as a political symbol. Yes. So I rather support the FA's view of no politics, no religion. There are probably some exceptions in the margin. I mean, Catholic players sometimes cross themselves as they walk onto the pitch. I don't think you should get a yellow card for that. But in terms of big claims about God or politics, get rid of all of them. That means no, I love Jesus. It means no, I love Allah. And it means no, I love LGBT+.
But can you imagine? You can go after someone like Mark Gay, who's the son of a Christian minister, I think he is, who's obviously got what you might class as, I imagine, relatively fundamentalist traditional Christian views. Okay, in a Christian country. So it's all right to think about. Whereas if you see one of these one of the Muslim players that's doing it, apparently all the players will just show solidarity with you, and you pick Manchester United, who I am a fan of, by the way. The players there picked showing solidarity with him over showing solidarity with rebels.
Online, I criticise the Church of England a hell of a lot. I criticise Justin Welby. I go in on the Church of England for facilitating the abuse of children over the last few years. But I'm never called Christianophobic. I'm never attacked online for attacking the Church of England. But if I dare criticise Sadiq Khan or a Muslim figure or something within that religion that I think maybe I don't agree with,
politically, honestly, it's got nothing to do with Islam.
I am called Islamophobic, and it's normally by woke, middle-class, white lefties on Twitter. These people are deranged, and I think it's become like a bit of a cult-like thing.
This guy's,
You've got to align with Islam, and you've got to align with LGBT, and then you are seen as the moral person in this country.
Would you agree that maybe Christianity is bottom of the woke league table, Nina?
Well, first of all, I'm so sick of hearing this word woke. You're kind of obsessed with it.
That's because you are woke, Nina.
I am not woke, and I've never claimed to be woke. I am not woke.
Would agree with
I am not woke. I have always had my own opinions, and they're strong opinions, and they're nothing to do with what's in fashion or what's not in fashion. I've always been absolutely down the line with that. And I forgot what was your question.
Do you think Christianity is at the bottom of the well, I don't know what to call it now, league table?
You delude yourself in thinking that this is basically a religious country when 3/4 of the clergy, the C of E clergy, admit that Britain is a secular state because there are so few people that go to church these days that less than 50% of people are Christians, 7% are Muslims, by the way, and less than 50% are Christians. And so we don't kid ourselves that we're a Christian country, we're a secular country.
But we've got used to in this country criticising Christianity, even lampooning it, taking the mick out of it. And exactly the same rules and conduct should apply to all other religions without fear or favour. And it doesn't seem that it applies to Islam. We can mock Christianity without a worry in our minds. But mocking Islam, that seems to be a different category altogether.
There's not been a single question asked, as far as I can tell. I might have missed it. Okay, but there's not been a single question from real prominent media figures or chattering classes or wide societies about, well, hang on a minute, what does this latest Rainbow Laces issue maybe hint at? Does it hint at that maybe there are certain aspects of the fundamental Islamic religion that are dead against LGBTQ+?
Yes, we all know that.
But then why do so many people? Why can't you call that out at times? If we live in this country where everyone else gets called out for that, why can't you call it out? But
there are devout Christians that are very much
literally we're talking about
homosexuality. So we can say it about them as well.
But
let's remember that LGBT+ is a big business for the corporate world.
Exactly.
They're never going to give it up.
Football has traditionally been completely homophobic. How many gay footballers are there?
Yeah, basically.
More than we know.
Yeah, because they don't dare come out.
Exactly.
Because it's totally homophobic. So the LGBTQ, the rainbow thing is actually trying to redress a balance that's been wrong since time began.
Lively start. Thank you very much.
Yeah, that uncle is a character for sure. Lively start. Nonsense. Oh my god. Ooh, what is this?
Good evening. Now, the BBC has compiled a list of 100 of the world's most inspiring women. That's a tough thing to do, given that there are millions upon millions upon millions of remarkable women on the planet. Start with anyone that's given birth and raised offspring. Anyone that has started a business, won a gold medal, created great art, run government departments, or even a country. What about the two sensational women outputting tonight's show? That's right, Helena and Faye. It's odd, therefore, with this surplus of candidates available, that the BBC could only find 99 women for this honour, instead awarding the 100th place to a transgender Colombian scientist. Now, this is someone born a man, a biological male by any description, someone that is a bloke that identifies as a woman. Now, the Telegraph report that Brigitte Baptiste is a scientist who explores the common patterns between biodiversity and gender identity. Apparently she uses, and I quote, a queer lens to analyse landscapes and species in a bid to expand the notion of nature to better protect ecosystems. In a 2018 TED Talk, which demonstrates just how far down the woke rabbit hole science has descended, Baptiste spoke about, wait for it, transsexual palm trees. And she said that there's nothing more queer than nature. Make it make sense. So, in a list of 100 of the most inspiring women in the world, one actual woman misses out. And that's progress, is it? I'd love to know which accomplished female scientist, architect, or entrepreneur had to sit on the bench so that yet another man can enjoy the spotlight. Now, this is the same BBC that named Barbara Banda as its Women's Footballer of the Year for 2024, even though she was withdrawn from the Women's African Cup of Nations for failing to demonstrate that she's a woman. As the chief sports writer of the Telegraph, Oliver Brown, points out, it has reached the stage now where women are perfectly entitled to feel that they're being trolled. And the heroic Harry Potter author J.K. Rowling, who has risked her career, her reputation, and her safety to stand up to this madness, said after the Barbara Banda football row, presumably the BBC decided this was more time efficient than going from door to door to spit directly in women's faces. Now, the travesty of this top 100 list is that it's men dominating women all over again. It is patriarchy in makeup. It is sexism in a dress. It is misogyny in heels. But the BBC are not the only ones peddling this stuff, because the brilliant journalist and GB News star signing Lucy Johnston, who's going to be exposing some massive stories for the channel in the years ahead, can exclusively reveal tonight that a leading human rights lawyer is threatening to sue the ultra-woke Football Association over its demand that players wear rainbow armbands and laces, which are both items that perpetuate this deranged and divisive ideology. Now, this fearless lawyer, Paul Conraith, argues that making players wear a rainbow armband breaches rules on political impartiality and clothing. He also argues that the Rainbow Laces campaign, as well as armbands, implies that gender ideology is now an orthodoxy and that it's fact and should be accepted and influencing policy and lawmaking. Now, let's be clear, the rainbow flag is not orthodox. It is not fact. And it is highly political, given that plenty of women consider gender ideology to be sexist, as it erodes their fundamental rights, not to mention their safety. And many gay people feel that this ideology is homophobic, as it encourages the transitioning of camp boys who would likely have turned out to be gay. And this is an ideology that tells lesbians that they are a bigot if they don't accept someone with a penis who calls himself a woman. And in fact, this lawyer Conraith is representing the lesbian football fan Lindsay Smith. Now, Lindsay Smith is a big supporter of Newcastle United, but she was banned from all Newcastle United games, her beloved team, for holding gender-critical views. Now, what are gender-critical views? Well, it basically is the belief that transgender women are not women. Well, wait a minute. That's not gender-critical. That is gender-factual, because transgender women are not women. But saying that will get you cancelled. It got Lindsay cancelled from her favourite football club. And let me give you some context. This poor woman has survived sexual abuse. And she said, if I see you as a male, I see you as a male. The LGBTQ plus movement erodes safeguards and all boundaries like bathrooms and other female-only spaces. And I'll take no moral lectures from your average Premier League footballer that wears the armbands. These are men who may be married, but who all too often head off to their local Holiday Inn Express with a female fan after the final whistle. Arbiters of moral rectitude they are not. So, fair play to the lawyer for calling out these double standards from the FA. Fair play to Ipswich Town captain Sam Morsey, who refused to wear a rainbow armband due to his religious beliefs. And fair play to the truly heroic Mark Gahey of Crystal Palace, who wrote "I love Jesus" over the rainbow armband that he's forced to wear. Hilariously, Gahey was formally reprimanded by the FA for doing this, but he did it again on Tuesday. If they ban this devout Christian over Christmas, the irony will be a delicious thing to behold. This madness has got to stop. It's time to show this whole rotten idea the red card. Why? Because it's balls. So the BBC can't find 100 actual women for its best 100 women in the world, and the FA make people wear these rainbow armbands. Your reaction, gbnews.com/your say. First up, tonight's top pundits. We have the founder of the consumer finance website moneymagpie.com, Jasmine Birtles, farmer and former Conservative MP, Neil Parish, and the ex-executive editor of the News of the World, the one and only Neil Wallace. Neil, where do we start with this story?
Do you know what? I've been thinking about this a lot. And This actually seriously drives me nuts. It has really enraged me, this story. I think you may have shown the picture of the new woman who has been allowed to join this list.
Brigitte?
Yes, Brigitte. You should put it up again.
We might
but what really,
dig it out.
really offends me, and I know that all those people watching now, watching this programme, the tens of thousands of people, they are appalled by this. I don't have the slightest doubt. I'm so insulted for people who pay the BBC licence fee. Some people sat in a room somewhere, paid by you and me and everybody out there who is paying the BBC licence fee, right? They paid for this idiot, this group of fools, to come up with this appalling, insulting list. You know what? My good lady deserves a place on that list rather than him. This lady here deserves a place on that list rather than him. The two lovely ladies who are directing this programme, the women who are running through here sorting this out, they deserve a place on that list, not this person. This is outrageous, ludicrous, but the biggest insult is we're all having to pay for it. I don't agree with defunding the BBC generally, but I have to say, this is just so outrageous and gratuitous, just like the football.
Which, in a sense, we're also paying for because fans buy tickets.
Absolutely. It's just such an insult to ordinary people, because you know what? We know about this. Ordinary people don't believe any of this coverage.
No.
It's nuts, and it's an insult.
It is.
Jasmine, your reaction?
Well, yeah, as a woman, I think, yet again, we are, as you say, we're being trolled, we're being pushed out. And 100, as you say, is not a big number when you look at the millions of women just in the UK alone who could be on that list. And it's happening very much in sport. It's happening in just life generally, where these men who want to identify as women literally are, physically pushing women out. I mean, I'm thinking about the Olympics, where that horrible moment when the boxing, exactly, everybody knows that.
And the Italian female boxer said she'd never been punched so hard in her life.
Yes, exactly. And Sharon Davis has done a lot of work on this. She's saying women's sports for women, and that's where you should leave it. So that's particularly irritating. When it comes to the FA thing, it's interesting that you mentioned that the player who had "I Love Jesus" on his, because I was just thinking, there's been a lot of controversy over people having a cross, people having a religious symbol. Oh, you're not allowed that. And there are lots of
don't mention Jesus.
Don't mention Jesus. Right. But you are literally forced to wear an armband that you do or don't believe in. I mean, even if you do believe in it, what's that got to do with the FA? What's it got to do with football?
Choice. It's like a poppy. If you want to remember you're dead, you wear one, but if you're forced to, it's got no meaning. Neil, what about the counter to this, which is that you've got people who have, a strong feeling, a strong sense that they're in the wrong body, and they transition and they become who they are, and that could be a man becoming a woman. Isn't it important to have empathy for these folk?
You can have empathy towards them, but why should they? Why should they be chosen as a woman? And don't
should
forget,
they be excluded then?
Yeah, but don't forget the BBC did this on purpose. I mean, they actually made sure that there was a transgender woman in there, or man, or whatever he or she is, and that was done it's all part of the agenda of the BBC. And there are so many great women out there that it would be no trouble at all for them to find 100, but they obviously excluded one woman and put in the transgender woman in order to, the political correctness goes on, the wokeism goes on, it's all part of the same thing. I agree with my namesake Neil here very much that it is insulting, and also we are paying for it.
Alright, bro. Just be careful, I don't mind. My homepage should be filled with this trash, bro. Yeah, I can't lie, man. Might just stop stream, bro.